How to tell what you do. Open the Structures book to the tab You Verbs. On the Notes Examples for To verbs, translate the bolded words into English and write them at the end of the sentence. You may pause this video if necessary. Now you're going to listen to the remainder of the video and copy down the notes that teach you how to make To verbs and write them in this Rules to Create To Verbs. We're going to learn how to go from to do the action from the infinitive to say that you do the action. Now, just like we've talked in the other sections, you cannot just put the word to in front of an infinitive such as caminar to say you walk. That would translate as you to walk. Here's your first step. Please write this down in this rules section. Start with a verb in the infinitive form, such as correr, hablar, escribir. Now you remember that all of our verbs in Spanish are going to end in one of these three ways, ER, AR, or IR. Take off the AR, ER, IR ending. For our examples, this would delete the correr, delete the ER, the AR, and the IR. This will leave us with the following stem. Add the ending based on the type of verb, meaning how it originally ended. For AR verbs, we're going to add back AS. For ER and IR verbs, we're going to add back ES. Correr turns into corres, hablar turns into hablas, and escribir turns into escribes. This form of the verb means you do that action. For example, you run, you talk, you write. Here are some other infinitive verbs. Now, in my classes, we've talked about this shortcut. If you remember that he or she verbs end in either an A or an E, depending on if they're AR verbs or ER, IR verbs, from that he or she form, all we have to do is add the S to the end. So it was mira, now it's miras. This would be a shortcut if you have already memorized the he or she rule. Here are a list of irregular verbs. These don't follow the rules. You need to also copy them down somewhere in this yellow section of your video. Excuse me, of your paper. So the first one is ir. To say that you go, it would be vas. Ser, meaning to be, would change to eres, to say you are. Querer, meaning to want, would change to quieres, to say you want. Tener would change to tienes, to say you have. Decir would change to dices, to say you say. Jugar, to play, would change to juegas. Poder would become puedes, to say you can. Dormir would become duermes, to say you sleep. And then gustar is a little bit different. So instead of putting an S at the end and making it gustas, we're going to change the pronoun at the front to te. So you will either say te gusta if you like one thing, or te gustan if you like more than one thing. And remember, we've talked in class that it doesn't actually mean you like. It means this thing is pleasing, gusta, to you, te. So te gusta means it pleases you. Therefore, te gustan would mean they please you. Now you need to complete the practice at the bottom of the to section. Once you are finished writing these 6 sentences in Spanish, you need to take them to your teacher and have her sign off. Then you will move on to the next activity on your paper.